Round 1 of Roland Garros finished with a bang as not one, but two players came back from 2-0 down. I'll discuss Gael Monfils' miraculous win and Felix Auger-Aliassime's flop loss, and give props to some American women who showed up and showed out on day 3. Hey, I'm Christian Bass Knight, and welcome to Christian's Court, where I cover tennis from all angles. If you have not yet already, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you are notified whenever I cover the day 4 action from Roland Garros. First, gotta start off with the man, the myth, the legend himself. Gael Monfils pulled off a Herculean effort comeback win over Hugo Dellien, winning by a score of 4-6, 3-6, 6-1, 7-6, 6-1. There was a bit of drama to start off the match, not even one game in. He had a forehand, kind of ran into the side of the boards over there, and he hurt himself bad, seemingly on his hand, and he needed medical attention, and he seemed a little bit like affected. He wasn't really going up and after his serve as much, and he had to deal with that and an inspired opponent and Dellien. And I thought Monfils was toast when he went down 2-0, but Dellien, he started cramping a little bit in the third set, maybe from nerves of closing out this big win, and Gael, I think that gave him the boost he needed to mount the comeback and the confidence he needed to mount the comeback. Monfils steamrolled in the third set, and the fourth set was a bit nip and tuck. Monfils had a commanding 4-2 lead and had 2 break points for a double break lead, but he failed to capitalize. And then he also failed to serve out the set despite leading it 5-4. And I thought that could be the final nail in his coffin, but he brought it to a tiebreaker where Dellien got a little bit tight and Gael came up with some incredible shot making. That set point backhand down the line winner sent chills down my spine, no lie. Gael ran away with it in the end, and Dellien was cooked, especially after Monfils won a few of those marathon games in the 5th set. For sure, the crowd helped Monfils come through that one. I don't know if he would have won this match if he played at another major like Wimbledon or anything anywhere else, but still, you got to give credit to the man for pulling out this gutsy win. The guy is just not human. 38 years old and winning matches like this, incredible. This is Monfils' 3rd career win from 2-0 down, and I believe this marks 12 wins at Roland Garros where he won in 5 sets, and if I'm not mistaken, that sets an open era record. Monfils next faces British #1 Jack Draper, who got a solid 4-set victory over Mattia Bellucci. I don't think Gael will have enough left in the tank, to be honest, to really challenge and push Draper. Maybe if he played this Dellien match on day 1, he'd have enough time to recover, but playing him on day 3, I think it's a little bit of a tough ask to ask him to recover and push Draper, who's playing such great tennis. The match wasn't too crazy long, 3 hours and 36 minutes, but still, bro's 38 years old. I don't know. While on the topic of Draper, Jack could play Brazilian phenom Joao Fonseca in the 3rd round. Fonseca clobbered 30th seed Hubert Hurkacz 6-2, 6-4, 6-2 in his debut Roland Garros match. I had Hubie winning this one in my tournament preview, but I am not shocked at all about this result. Now, I picked Hubie because he was coming into this tournament on good form, as he made the Rome quarterfinals, beating Minjik and Ruud, and he also made the Geneva final, beating Fritz and nearly beating Novak in the finals. However, I knew that Hurkacz would have problems, as first, he did have a historically poor record in the slams, track record in the slams, and then also Joao is such an incredible player, and he has the firepower to take advantage of a not 100% Hurkacz, as Hubie was definitely struggling with a little bit of a knee issue. His movement was compromised, but still, Fonseca was just too much for him. He really took the soul out of Hurkacz. The Brazilian finished with 36 winners to just 15 unforced errors, and he wasn't broken one time. I got 2 things to talk about, not really match related. First, I got to do my daily TNT tirade and drag TNT because they did a little bit too much when covering the match. The commentators just talked way too dang much. It was like 4 people talking at the same time, and they weren't taking breaks in between the points. They were talking over the tennis, and it pissed me off so bad I had to mute the dang TV. Like, it was frustrating me. And I know I could have watched the match on Max, and I understand that they probably maybe made the coverage not as best on TNT to get people to subscribe to the coverage on Max, but still, I just wanted to watch the match on TV. I didn't want to deal with the streaming. And I'm not saying this to bash TNT. I actually want the best for it, and maybe someone from TNT will look at this and say, oh, we need to fix some things. I also have a little bit of smoke for the Roland Garros tournament organizers, because who in their right mind decided to schedule this match on court 7? People were lined up for hours trying to watch this match. You know the Brazilians are going to show up and show out for their guy, and people were even watching this one from the Philippe Chatrier Stadium like stands. They weren't even paying attention that much to the match that was going on. Like, that's how much people were tuned in for Joao in this match. I think the tournament needs to learn their lesson and really never put Fonseca on a court that small ever again, because regardless of how you feel about him, he's going to fill stadiums. He's going to put butts in seats. There is a chance we'll see him on Philippe Chatrier next, as he does play a Frenchman, Pierre Hugues, in the second round. Fonseca wasn't the only man to win his debut Roland Garros match on day 3. Jakub Mensik defeated Frenchman Alexandre Muller 7-5, 6-7, 7-5, 6-3. The crowd was not happy with the 19-year-old Czech Mensik, as when Muller served for the third set, I believe Jakub complained to the umpire, wanting play to stop due to it raining a little bit. Jakub also tied his shoes after lengthy rallies at times, and the crowd did not like that. They probably accused him of gamesmanship, and they booed him when he won the third set and when he clinched the match. But he played into it. He channeled his inner idol, Novak Djokovic, kind of conducting and mocking the crowd, which I really love to see. And later on, when talking with the press and with Tennis Channel, Jakub said that he enjoyed the French crowd, even though they weren't cheering for him, because they said it helped him play better. And to me, that's the mark of a champion, not letting the crowd get to you and kind of turning it up another notch, using it as fuel, like his idol Novak. So again, I think that's the sign of greatness, really, through Mensik. Speaking of Novak, the 3-time champion dominated American Mackenzie McDonald 3-3 in under 2 hours. Really, the only issue in this match with Novak was the rain and the wind in the opening set. The Joker finished with 32 winners to 20 unforced errors, and Novak's section now opens a little bit more too after his potential round of 16 opponent Dino Medvedev was eliminated in a 5-set thriller by Cam Norrie with a final scoreline of 7-5, 6-3, 4-6, 1-6, 7-5. Norrie had never taken a set off of Medvedev in 4 previous meetings, but I knew that Cam still had a chance because, first of all, Norrie had confidence from making the Geneva semifinals as a qualifier, and Medi is not the biggest fan, of course, of clay, and the odds were further in Norrie's favor with this match being put on earlier in the day. This match was a heartbreaker for Medvedev, really, as he fumbled 5-3 leads in both the first and fifth sets. Not the best season from him thus far, and if he doesn't get it together by the time of Wimbledon, where he made the semifinals last year, we could see him exit the top 15, perhaps worse. Speaking of intense 5-setters, Matteo Arnaldi pulled off an incredible 5-7, 2-6, 6-3, 6-4, 6-2 comeback win over Felix Auger-Aliassime in 4.5 hours. Props to Arnaldi. He's a great player. It's not really a shock to me that he won, as I picked him to win this one because he's a great player, and Felix doesn't have a great track record in the slams himself. But it's crazy now that Felix's last 3 or 4 slam losses have come with him fumbling 2 sets to love leads. That just cannot happen. He did it at Wimbledon to Thanasi Kokkinakis last year. This year at the Australian Open, he fumbled a 2 sets to love lead versus Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, and now it happens again here against Arnaldi. I'm going to be nice. I'm not going to go in that much on Felix because I already know y'all going to do it regardless in the comments, so I'm going to try to be kind, and I think that definitely is something mental going on with the young man. I've always thought that Felix was low-key like a male version of Maria Sakkari because he has the talent like Maria does. They're both sponsored by Adidas as well. But when it comes down to the slams, it's like something mental with them. And I think when Felix is in a pole position to do well at a major, maybe the old demons raise their ugly heads and he just falters because, again, of course, it was a winnable match for him. And I believe he was up a break in the third set as well, fumbled that too. I hope he figures it out soon. There is time for him to figure this out. He's still 24 years old because, again, he has so much talent. But if he doesn't get it right mentally, all that talent will go to waste. Arnaldi resides in third seed Alexander Zverev's section, and Zverev is guaranteed to not face a seed at least until the quarterfinals. His draw was opened up a little bit more today after Grigor Dimitrov retired up 6-2, 6-3, 2-6 versus Ethan Quinn, the qualifying American. He retired due to a left thigh injury, and Dimitrov makes some not so great history, becoming the first male player in the Open era to retire mid-match at 4 successive major tournaments. I feel bad for Dimitrov. I kind of saw this coming. Well, I didn't see him retiring in 4 straight majors, but I did say at the beginning of the year that I can see this being a year where he's plagued by injuries even more. And I feel like it's unfortunate because when he's healthy, he can go deep in every tournament. But I just hope that he can have at least one good slam this season where he's fully healthy because he can make another quarterfinal or maybe even a semifinal or beyond. I don't know. Francisco Scaronzolo already talked about him in my last video, his loss to Gabriel Diallo. He was a big threat to Zverev, and now he's, of course, no longer here. Matteo Arnaldi, I don't know if he'll have enough in the tank to truly challenge Zverev after that intense second-round match. Matteo Arnaldi is talented, but I don't think he'll have enough left in the tank to truly push Zverev, especially with him now facing his compatriot Fabio Caboli. I feel like those two will probably have an intense match. Wouldn't be surprised if that went the distance to 5 sets. Caboli, he has the skills, I think, to probably beat Zverev. He's coming off the title in Hamburg. He's very confident. But like with Arnaldi, I'm concerned that maybe with the fatigue of both playing Hamburg the week leading into this tournament and a potential thriller between the countrymen, he won't have enough to test Zverev in that third round match. Talking about the women now, it was a great day for the U.S. ladies who went 7-1. Top-ranked American woman Coco Gauff had little problems with Aussie Olivia Gadecki, winning that one 6-2, 6-2. Gadecki is just not consistent enough to challenge Coco, and it was a so-so performance from Coco. She didn't hit any aces, finished with 7 double faults, 15 winners, 22 unforced errors. She has a good enough draw to where she can still play herself into form for the first few rounds, but she does need to clean it up before the third round, where she will likely face Maria Boskova, who beat the 30th seed Anna Kalinskaya in straight sets. I say that Boskova is dangerous because she played well in Rome, nearly beat Naomi there, and then too, she beat Coco the last time they played, which was on clay back in 2023 in Rome. Now, the main fault for Coco on day 3 was her forgetting her rackets when stepping out on court. Frances Tiafoe did it too at Indian Wells this year, although I did notice, and I made a meme about it, that the reaction when Frances forgot his rackets compared to Coco were totally different, as people were ragging on Frances, saying that, oh, this is why he hasn't accomplished much, he doesn't have the focus, how do you forget your own racket? Whereas with Coco, people were laughing and saying, oh, you silly Coco, we love you. Now, I don't want to be that one tennis commentator that's too woke. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'm just pointing out the funny contrast in the reaction. So again, it's not really that deep to me. At least she looked good while being forgetful, though. She rocked a solid New Balance kit, and I really like that leather jacket. If Coco manages to win this tournament, she's got to pose with the trophy with the leather jacket on, because those fit pics will go hard for sure. Sofia Kenin opened play on Philippe Chatrier, crushing Varvara Krejceva 6-3, 6-1. She now plays Victoria Azarenka in the second round, who double-bageled Yannier Wickmeyer. Now, getting double-bageled by Azarenka at this stage on clay, nonetheless, is definitely time for retirement for you. Wickmeyer will actually retire at Wimbledon next month, so perfect timing. Anyways, third seed Jessica Pegula got a solid 2-4 win over Anka Todoni, and she now plays compatriot An Lee in the second round. Ashton Kruger makes the second round in Paris, and she gets an interesting next match against Mira Andreeva, who beat Kristina Buksov 6-4, 6-3. That could be an interesting test for Mira, but I still think that she should handle the American okay and make the third round. The most impressive wins from the U.S. ladies came from the likes of Haley Baptiste and Alycia Parks. Baptiste scored a great 4-6, 6-3, 6-1 win over the 23rd seed Beatrice Haddad Maia. This is Baptiste's biggest win at a major, rankings-wise, and Haddad Maia had been playing well leading into this tournament, making the Strasbourg semifinals, but I knew that Haley had a chance here, as she's been playing well all season, nearly beat Svitolina in Rome, and I feel like a win of this magnitude could be huge for a boost not only this season but the rest of her career. I think there's a good opportunity there for her too to make the third round, and that little section is opened even more with the exit of Emma Navarro, and we could have an all JTCC meeting with her and Robin Montgomery in the third round, which I would love to see. Another woman who earned her biggest slam win rankings-wise on day 3 was Alycia Parks, who ousted 14th seed and 2023 finalist Karolina Muchova 6-3, 2-6, 6-1. Yes, Muchova was not at her best level-wise, as she is just coming back from a wrist issue, having not played since the Miami Open, and she did struggle to hit her topspin backhand with effectiveness, although Muchova's topspin backhand wasn't all that great even when she was 100% healthy. Now, it's not like Muchova played that bad. I think she still would have beaten a lot of players, but full credit has got to be given to Alycia for playing a phenomenal match. Her ability to power through Muchova with those big ground strokes on the clay, on nighttime conditions nonetheless, where it's even slower, is a testament to her skill and ball striking ability. She outplayed Muchova thoroughly in that final set, and her stats ended up good. hitting 36 winners to 31 unforced errors. I know I've been a little bit shady towards Alycia in my recent videos, but it's all in good fun. Alycia is my girl. I haven't really been excited about a player like this since Serena, to be honest. It's hard to get attached for us Park Rangers because Alycia isn't the most consistent woman on the tour week in and week out. She just lost 2 in love to Jacqueline Christian in Rome. If she can be consistent, she can be a true force and accomplish so many things. Her talent is undeniable. Parks will seek her second ever Roland Garros win now in the second round against Frenchwoman Elsa Jacquemont. The 22-year-old Frenchwoman got her first slam main draw win, defeating Maria Sakkari 6-3, 7-6. Again, Sakkari and Felix Auger-Aliassime are like twins, and Sakkari still hasn't made a slam second week since the 2022 Australian Open. It is a shame because she played well in Madrid, beating Paolini 2-1. So now you come to a slam, you can't perform. It's just not a good look. Also in this section, Ons Jabeur fell to Magdalena Frech 7-6, 6-love. Sad for the Tunisian. I think honestly her slam hopes have gone, but I don't know, maybe she can prove me wrong and do her big one. The woman who beat Jabeur in the 2023 Wimbledon final, Marketa Vondrousova, came through with the win today. This was her first slam win in a year exactly. The Czech woman has been battling with numerous injuries, so great for her that she was able to get that win. Looking ahead to day 4's order of play, Jasmine Paolini takes on Ajla Tomljanovic to open play on Chatrier, followed by Carlos Alcaraz. He makes his Chatrier debut this year against Fabian Marozsan, who beat him in their last meeting in Rome in 2023. Emma Raducanu faces off against Iga Swiatek, and then Holger Rune is the nightcap headliner against American Emilio Nava. On Suzanne Lenglen, Qinwen Zhang, Casper Ruud, Giovanni Petri Petitcart, and Arina Sabalenka headline. And on Simone Mathieu, Lorenzo Musetti, Elina Svitolina, Stefano Tsitsipas, and Elena Rybakina and Iva Jovic will headline action there. Also, a couple matches on the outside courts that I want to highlight. First, starting with Eva Lees against 18-year-old Canadian phenom Victoria Mboko. I think that could be a really great match. And then Danielle Collins will take on Olga Danilovic. Those are two great solid players. The winner of that one would face likely Sabalenka. And these two played here last year, which Danilovic took in a really intense, I believe, third set tiebreaker, if I'm not mistaken. That is all I have for this day 3 Roland Garros recap video. And let me know again your thoughts on Fonseca and Parks' wins, Monfils' incredible comeback from behind 5-set win, and Felix Auger-Aliassime's not incredible loss. Again, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post my next Roland Garros recap video. And of course, thank you all so much for watching this one and for your support. And I'll see you all next time here on Christian's Court.